At various points in my life when I was younger, I thought that my life was difficult, and I would have much rather just have been somewhere else. So, for example, when I was in high school, I hated the fact that everything was being dictated to me by my parents and teachers, and I had to worry about doing homework and getting into college and all these things. And so I'd ask myself, why does it have to be this way? Why can't I just be off doing something else with my own freedom and my own independence? And it wasn't until much later that I realized that those struggles in life, if you will, are actually very necessary, even though it might not seem like it at the time. So I want to go through just a few of the many reasons for why that's the case, so that if you ever find yourself asking similar questions, you can see the value in that rather than having a sense of contempt for it. So the first reason life has to be tough rather than it just being easy right off the bat is because that's the only way that you can learn to appreciate it when things actually start to get a little better. Because now you have a standard for comparison. So anything else that you're going through, you can look back and say, this isn't really that bad in comparison to what I had to go through back then. Whereas by contrast, if things were easy right off the bat, then that would become the standard and you'd basically have no resilience and everything would seem difficult by comparison. So going back to the high school example, it's only because I went through that I can appreciate the fact that I don't have to worry about getting into college now and doing my homework and having my life dictated to me, and I have so much more freedom. And it makes me happy even though I'm arguably in a more stressful situation where I have bills to pay and I have to hold down a job and I have all these other responsibilities. Another thing I realized is that while I was asking, why can't I have everything I want? I should have been asking, why should I? Why should that be given to me without me having to earn it? Because the fact is that this ideal life we have pictured for ourselves is a privilege and not a right. That's why they say rise through the ranks, because you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. And if you need proof of that, just look at the natural order of things. Every other living organism out there, they don't have the luxury of laws or social safety nets or air conditioning. Instead, every single day of their lives is a struggle to find sustenance, to evade predators, and survive one day, let alone the next couple of years. So why should we be any different? And lastly, amongst many other reasons, life has to be tough because if it weren't, then there'd be no point. There'd be nothing to work towards and things would become rather boring rather quickly. And consequently, you wouldn't build any character and you'd have no interesting stories to tell. But it's only after having gone through less than ideal experiences that I can say I've proven that I can go through those things. I've built character traits like resilience and independence and self-reliance and humility. I have experience in these different areas and I have a story to tell. So it's only because I went through the army that I know what it's like to sleep in freezing cold temperatures or how to survive on very little sustenance for weeks at a time or how to lead soldiers under very stressful conditions. It's only because I went through college and that was less than ideal and that it was a difficult experience that I learned how to separate myself from my family and forge my own path. Whereas if I didn't go through any of those things, then I would have nothing to show for myself. So the next time you find yourself in less than ideal circumstances, then rather than just tapping out and quitting because it's unpleasant, instead hang in there, persevere, and work hard till the end, knowing that you're going to emerge a much better person than you were to begin with. So hope this was insightful for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.